And we are back from our short break. We are returning here live with the EXW podcast. Here, I'm your host, Scott Anderson, and David Gage is my guest, and we all hope
Hello.
you are having a happy 4th of July.
Yes, we do.
Now, this question, I guess I can ask you, David, is from the Chris Kofkin. He wants to know, how old are you?
How old I am? This is hilarious. How old do you think I am?
His guess was 38.
38,000 years ago, I was born, according to him.
No, 38 years ago.
38. Isn't that pretty young?
What? I mean, it's a little kid asking.
I am 70,000 years ago, marked the day of David Gage's birth. Mother Gage had me 70,000 years ago. Make sense?
Uh, yes.
Come on, roll into more questions.
That one Jake Kid asks, will you take Pharaoh down to hell with you?
I like that kid. I really like him. Yes, I will. I will be taking Pharaoh with me and shackling him to the side of another man's dead corpse upside down on a flaming rock. So, Scott, any other questions on your flimsy
Yes.
phone?
This comes from Huggy the rabbit one.
Huggy the
He
rabbit.
wants
The fuck?
he
Go
wants to
on.
know, what do you think about the luchadors in EXW?
Why would I care? Every man that is in here, like I said, will begin ripped apart one by one. It's just a matter of time for one of these men to step my way after Pharaoh. One of these brave luchadors have. But only him was able to. And guess what? Guess what? Ha! Pharaoh won't be able to beat me. So, what other questions?
Uh, this comes from Huggy underscore the rabbit one again. He says, do you think there will be do you think there is a future for Pharaoh in hell?
There is one. There is not thinking about it. After Warzone, he is going with me to hell. Like I did with Nate Evans. That night is his night to go to hell for one night. So,
Uh,
any other questions?
Mr. Monkey Man on Twitter wants to know, where did you get all your tattoos from?
These are just marks that I put into my skin with the nearest needle every time a man fucks up. I put another line in my skin. I just got one from
I
your
do, but
phone right now. Scott, give me that phone. I just heard one beep.
here you go.
Ender Dragon 0595. Ask what time is it for you? Because you sound tired. Because I sound tired. I always sound like this. I am David Gage. And the time right now is 9:20 at night. Meaning 10 more minutes of this podcast. So, Scott,
Yeah, sure.
here's your flimsy fucking phone.
Alrighty. Well, this question comes in from Huggy underscore the rabbit one again. He wants to know, is Warzone the last match for you and Pharaoh to fight against each other for the Antichrist Championship ever?
Most definitely. It will be. So, Scott,
I guess, sure.
I've noticed something. I have.
What's that?
But before I get into my question to ask you, give me one last question.
Alright, well, a new person who, actually is a David Gage fan.
Who?
He wants to know, he wants to tell you that he says goodnight and goodbye. And he also wants to know, what do you have in store at Warzone against Pharaoh?
What I have in store against him? A lot. You're just gonna have to watch. Now, Scott,
Yes, sir.
I've noticed that one thing. You've been sitting there eyeballing me like a psychopath this whole time.
What?
Why?
What do you mean?
You've been sitting over there, scared out of your fucking mind, eyeballing me. Why?
Well, it's
Why is that?
because you're a very intimidating man.
So you had to stare at them?
No, no, sir, I'm sorry. I'll look away.
But this is your show. So, we're at the end of our time. You want to end it off?
I got one last question.
One last question. Why? I just said to you. Are you ready to end this off? I can hurt you right now.
Please don't hurt me.
Finish your fucking question.
Where? Oh, no, hang on. It's not working. Hang on. Come on, stupid
Come on.
phone.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
Mr. Monkey Man on Twitter asks, what kind of music do you listen to?
What kind of music I listen to is what you're keeping me back for?
No, sure, that's just his question.
You know what? Just end this fucking podcast so I can leave.
Okay.
Come on.
Uh, well, thank you everybody for watching the podcast here tonight, the EXW podcast, with Stephen Barrett.
Steven Barrett, you mean... You're so
I'm
fucking
sorry, I
drunk.
messed too many beers.
Tell
With
him
your
who you
host,
are.
Scott Anderson, and my guest was David Gage. Stay tuned for more, and follow us here on Twitch at SaltyBreak900. Subscribe to us on YouTube, EXW Wrestling, Extreme Xbox Wrestling. Follow us on Instagram, EXW_wrestling. And follow us on Twitter, just an enjoyous one.
You mean 15.
And thank you for, well,
You know what? We're just gonna leave it at that. I am David Gage, your Antichrist, your Hell's Angel. And by me and Scott. Good night.